Good morning. Welcome to the Universalist Congregation of Monmouth County. My name is Jay Blotsky. My pronouns are he and him. I am a friend of the congregation and a friend and partner of today's guest speaker. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you arrived at this beloved place, you are welcome here. Our mission is to create community, transform ourselves, and transform the world. This morning, we welcome Karen Geer, a member of UUCMC, as our 2024 Myra Zinke Lecturer. The late Dr. Myra Zinke, a Holmdel internist and psychiatrist, recognized very early how cultural issues impinged on women's physical and mental health. She held a steadfast ethical vision and left a bequest to us for an annual speaker on women's issues and to promote gender equality. Karen has big ideas and a big brain and really big mouth, but I like it. For those who don't know her, her abbreviated biography is on the UUCMC website. Karen and I would like to welcome on the live stream today members of Karen's yoga teacher training course from Tula Yoga. Today's peace ladder meditation is from her training in that class. Welcome, Tula Yoga. Now I would like to welcome a member of the auction committee for a brief announcement.
Hi, I'm Liz DeBeer. I'm the chairperson of the auction committee, and I will try to be brief, but I never promise that. Just kidding. If you see your little piece of paper and you flip it over, there's a thing that says the 2024 UUCMC auction is coming, and I wanted to mention that about a week or two ago I was in a panic because we were down on not having enough items. I am really happy to say a number of people have stepped up. Ellen in the back here has just donated a vacation home. We have a couple of vacation homes, and we have some amazing parties, things that I personally can't wait to bid on. But starting on April 14th, the silent auction will be available right from the comfort of your home. You can start bidding, and we're talking gift cards and different fun things. And the live auction, where you get to bid on the parties in the vacation home, will be on May 4th. You know, may the 4th be with you that day. And there will be a Zoom link for that. Everything is available. We don't need to drive at night. We can drink from the comfort of our homes. But the main thing is, right this minute, if it's possible, before April 14th or even a little after, if there's something you would like to donate, I would be so psyched. We're not quite at what I perceive to be where we need to be to reach the goal that the Board of Governance has put for our auction. And it is, in fact, the biggest fundraiser of the UUCMC. I hope you will participate. If you have any questions, you can see this email here, and that's where I can be reached if you have any questions. I'm psyched if you have an incredible pie that you bake that you want to put up. It doesn't have to be a party. You could do a pajama party. You could do any kind of thing, a Super Bowl party. But if you want to just have some crazy idea and toss it out, I would love to hear it. Thank you so very much for supporting UUCMC. As you all know, and I'll say this over and over again, the only way we can do this is together, and I am really grateful for everyone who has participated both this year and in the past. Thank you.
Where am I? Right here.
Nope.
If you are new to us, please do visit our website, uucmc.org, where you can sign up and get all the latest news of the congregation by email. We look forward to getting to know you better. Please put your devices on silent as we enter into worship together. Welcome again to this place of love and hope.
Morning. If you're wondering who the impromptu singers are, this is a group of folks who came right before the service and learned this piece then. It's a song from the Justice Choir songbook, and you'll recognize perhaps the song. These songs are meant to be easy to learn, perhaps pre-existing melodies that you already know. You'll have to let us know after the service if you recognize this one, with new inspiring words to sing for justice.
We gather, we bring our sorrows, our disappointments, our failures. We gather for healing, for laughter, and to rejoice. Several rows of people seen mid-torso, holding outstretched hands in church. We gather to find new ways of loving, new ways of thinking, new ways of being. We gather. Yes, always we gather, for it is in generating or gathering that we find our hope.
I've asked John Hoffman to light our chalice. The ember of hope, a love set ablaze. What if sometimes it's not about a light in the darkness? What if sometimes it's about sparking potential into possibility and possibility into existence? What if sometimes the flame that burns in the chalice of our faith is nothing less than the ember of hope and nothing more than love set ablaze? What if sometimes all we need to do is follow this flame, one among scores, hundreds, thousands of steadily flickering flames across the land and among so many peoples on the way to justice and into the land of peace. What if we dare to kindle that chalice? Let us all rise as we are able and sing together, "Gonna lay down my sword and shield." This is Justice Bader Ginsburg. She was sworn in as an Associate Supreme Court Justice in August 1993. I graduated from law in May 1993. I knew all about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, however, because my law professor, Maria Marcus, was a huge fan. In my first year of law school, I was a moot court champion, coming in at the top 4 for the final round of the annual school-wide moot court competition. Afterwards, I was both an editor of the Environmental Law Review and was selected to be on the Environmental Law Moot Court competition, where we placed. Afterwards, I was the inter-school editor, where I coached teams for Fordham University School of Law. Listening to Ruth Bader Ginsburg conduct oral argument at the Supreme Court was part of our moot court training. Our professor had the transcripts and also had the tapes. It was required study for everyone, both men and women. When I first heard Ruth Bader Ginsburg conduct oral argument, I thought she sounded soft and extremely nice. I noticed she was even-keeled and she never was rattled. My coach thought I should adopt this style. You see, I had a bit of a New York City edge. I told Professor Marcus that imitating Miss Ginsburg's style was never going to happen. You see, I didn't go to law school to be nice. I was socialized to be nice growing up in the Midwest, and the best it got me with a master's degree in music was being the head of a music department at an elite private school in Manhattan, where I made $18,000 a year and lived in a single-room occupancy and shared a kitchen and bathroom with the 40 other female residents. I was done being nice. And then, at a Women and the Law symposium after I graduated from law school, I met her. The event was packed. Many, many women and men attended to get a glimpse of the new Associate Supreme Court Justice. This is what we noticed. She was petite, small. She never spoke forcefully, and we had to lean in to hear her, and she never made anyone feel bad about their questions, and she treated everyone with respect. What I realized then was that Justice Ginsburg wasn't nice. She was humble and kind. Justice Ginsburg died on September 18th, 2020, and I was fortunate to be a congregant at Lab Shul in Manhattan when Rabbi Abadi Lavadi announced her death in the middle of services. He was weeping. There was an audible gasp in the congregation, and we stood there for minutes. Then he led us in the mourner's Kaddish. I felt grateful that I was with people that admired her as much as I did. And with this lens, I will now read today's story, Why I Look Up to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The authors and illustrators of this book is Anna Membrino and Fatty Burke. Why I look up to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, let me tell you why. Ruth is smart. She reads, listens, and thinks before she makes a decision. She is a leader. She believes in her opinion and shares them in a way that people can understand. Ruth is a feminist. She believes the world can get better only if every person has an equal chance to learn, speak, and live. It is not women's liberation. It is women's and men's liberation. I can be like Ruth, and so can you. Let's bless the children and sing them out. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Every week in this congregation, we are provided with an opportunity to practice generosity. This is your invitation to contribute to the well-being of our congregation and to our social justice partners through the good works of organizations which receive half of the monies collected each month. Our Share the Plate recipient for the month of April is UU Ministry for Earth. It was through this organization that UUCMC obtained our Green Sanctuary certification in 2007. One of the first congregations to do so. UU Ministry for Earth continues to inspire us all in restoring and reciprocal relationships with Earth and all life, addressing a range of human-caused problems that have led to climate disruption. For those of you present here in the meeting house, the plates will be passed by our ushers. You may also join this time of generosity via text, send your offering by mail, or charge your contribution online with a memo designating an amount to UU Ministry for Earth. Please give generously. We, bearers of dream, affirm that a new vision of hope is emerging. We pledge to work for that community in which justice will be actively present. We affirm that there is struggle yet ahead. Yet we know that in the struggle is hope for the future. We affirm that we are co-creators of the future, not passive pawns. And we stand united in affirmation of our hope and vision of a just and inclusive society. We affirm the unity of all persons. We affirm brotherhood and sisterhood that allows us to touch upon each other's humanity. Yet we are one in the image of God, and we celebrate our hopes for human unity.
Please help me thank Jay for the wonderful job that he's doing. I fell in love with him because of his voice. Okay. Yeah. Today, I will be speaking about a significant court case that was before the Supreme Court on June 30th, 2023, with oral argument on November 11th. The name of the case is United States versus Rahimi. Before I launch into my remarks, I want to be clear about a few things. This is my opinion, and it is a biased one. While I am a lawyer, I am not a constitutional law scholar. My goal is not to give you a complete education in constitutional law analysis or go on at length about procedural details, but rather to make you aware in the hope that you will continue on to learn about the intersection of domestic violence and United States gun laws. I will make a note about the source material in my remarks. All the source material that I'm using is cited in the Supreme Court briefs. If I use some other source material, it will be noted on the slide. We will begin with the facts of the case. They are abbreviated and violent. This is Mr. Rahimi. In 2019, Mr. Rahimi assaulted his girlfriend in a parking lot following an argument. During the fight, Mr. Rahimi knocked her to the ground, dragged her to his car, and shoved her inside. Their child was in the car. A bystander witnessed the incident, and Mr. Rahimi fired a gun at him. The Texas lower court judge issued a restraining order against Mr. Rahimi. The judge found he had committed family violence and that such violence was likely to occur again in the future. The judge suspended Mr. Rahimi's handgun license. Several arrests followed. In May, Mr. Rahimi violated the restraining order because he came to the girlfriend's house in the middle of the night. In November 2020, Mr. Rahimi was arrested after being charged with threatening yet another woman with a gun. There were 5 additional arrests for gun shootings, his gun shootings, up until January 2002, including his shooting a gun at a fast food worker because his friend's credit card was declined. Finally, Mr. Rahimi was charged under a federal law and his guns were taken away. This law is the subject of the Supreme Court appeal. This is the question presented in front of the court. The question is whether the government can prohibit firearm possession by a person subject to a domestic violence civil restraining order. Now, constitutionality of a law under the Supreme Court is subject to a standard review. And this justice, Justice Thomas, has a unique view of how the Second Amendment cases should be reviewed. And it was articulated in this case, New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin. This standard is that in order for a gun law to be constitutional, it must have a historical analog. Well, what does this mean? It's sometimes referred to as originalism. What it means is if there was no law in 1791 restricting gun access, then this new law enacted by Congress is unconstitutional. This is completely ill-advised because it ignores a very simple concept called context. I would like to demonstrate with a few slides. This is when the Second Amendment was enacted. Now, these are guns in 1791. According to my resident gun expert, Mr. J. Blotsky, these are flintlock guns. One is a pistol and one is a musket. According to Mr. Blotsky, these guns were primarily used in 1791 for protection and for hunting and to provide food. The important thing to remember about these guns is that they shoot 3 bullets per minute. Here is one of Mr. Rahimi's guns. It is a Glock 17. According to Mr. Blotsky, this gun is a favorite of law enforcement. It shoots 33 rounds per minute. It is a dangerous firearm. Here is another one of Mr. Rahimi's guns. It is an AR-15. An AR-15 is a semi-automatic rifle. It can shoot an unlimited number of bullets per minute. AR-15 style rifles have played a prominent role in many high-profile mass shootings in the United States. Here are some of them. The founders were thinking about flintlocks when enacting the Second Amendment. Thus, Justice Thomas' argument lacks context and technological advancement that the founders could not have anticipated. This standard of review should be discarded. But let's look at one other example. These are domestic violence laws in 2024. You have the Violence Against Women Act, the Victim Assistance Grant, and 33 states have enacted criminal prohibitions on firearm possessions by DV perpetrators. So what, if you use Justice Thomas's legal analysis, would be the historical analog of domestic violence laws in 1791? Let me show you. There would be 0. There were no domestic violence laws in 1791. In fact, women could not even vote. That didn't happen until 1920. In 1791, the Anglo-American common law's treatment of domestic relations was that a husband had a legal right to subject his wife to physical violence, what was called chastisement, if she defied his authority. Most domestic violence victims are women and children. The word women is not even in our Constitution, nor is it in our amendments to this day. So again, this originalism and historical analog legal analysis standard of review should be abandoned by the court. But yet, there is another reason, and my slides are out of order, just give me a second here. No, maybe not. The link between firearms and lethal domestic violence is well documented. In 2019, this is from the Supreme Court briefs, an average of 70 women are shot and killed a month in the US by intimate partners. In 2019, 1 million women reported being shot or shot at by intimate partners, and more than 4.5 million have been threatened with a gun that year. In 2019, nearly 2/3 of domestic homicides in the United States were committed with a gun. Lastly, direct access to guns increases the likelihood of intimate partner homicide of women by 11 times. So why is there any hope? Hope and prayers. A standard that is being articulated by some justices on the court includes a common sense approach that argues that there are myriad historical laws to disarm people that are considered dangerous. I hope and pray that the justices will start to consider this as a standard. Justice Amy Coney Barrett asked this question at oral argument. How does the government go about showing whether certain behavior qualifies as dangerous? So, he says, Justice Roberts, are you suggesting if there's a sufficient showing of dangerousness, that can be the basis for disarming, even with respect to possession in the home? These questions taken out of context can only hint that the justices are acknowledging that domestic violence survivors are in danger when a perpetrator has access to a firearm. Whether that will be sufficient to hold this law constitutional, we will have to wait and see. I choose to have hope. Many religious organizations supported the argument that domestic violence perpetrators should be disarmed. I was so proud to see that the Unitarian Universalist Congregation Society signed on this brief. The brief is fascinating, and I have never read anything like it for a legal proceeding. It is religious with prayers. I invite you to read it online. It is available. Here are the organizations that are fighting gun violence in America. There are two organizations that we should support: the National Coalition to End Domestic Violence and the New Jersey Coalition to End Domestic Violence. UUCMC is making a donation to the New Jersey Coalition to End Domestic Violence. I hope you have learned a little about this case and its importance. I also hope that you will follow the decision and learn more about how we together can end gun violence. So, hopes and prayers for SCOTUS. Let's hope they protect our society, the women and children of this country, and all those who suffer from gun violence in America. We are now going to enter a period of meditation. Please set anything you have on your lap aside. Put both feet on the ground with your spine erect. Place your hands gently on your lap. Close your eyes and breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out through your nose. Breathe in. Breathe out through your nose. We are going to do a visualization peace ladder meditation. I invite you in your mind to create a ladder, a beautiful ladder, a ladder that's going to end up into something where you're going to fall back like a bed of feathers or a pool of water, and you're standing now at the top step in your mind. We're going to have 5 steps down. Breathe. Breathe in through your nose. You're standing on the top of the ladder and you look out and you see the blue sky. And the sun is pouring on your face. Now scan yourself and see how you feel. Do you feel calm? Take 1 step down the ladder. Make yourself feel calmer. Breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Look at that blue sky. 1 step down, sinking down, feeling calm, feeling peace. We need to feel this in ourselves if we can give it to another person. 1 more step down. Now, I don't want you to be alarmed, but when we eventually fall back, Louise is going to play something beautiful for us that we can listen to and float to. Take 1 more step. Now in your mind, fall back gently into your bed of flowers, or your bed of feathers, or your pool, and float while we listen to Louise play. Now gently open your eyes. And Louise is going to teach us our final hymn, Building Bridges. I was very worried I would go over, but we're not.
An Irish blessing. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm on your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may you be held by the Eternal One. Amen.